This is Art to Me. I'm Jenson Titus.
I'm Nick Shepard.
This is a podcast where we talk about what was art to us this week.
Yeah, it could be anything. It could be a work of art. It can be an artistic medium. It can also just be something that feels like art.
It could be something that you're not good at and that you keep, every time you say what's art to you, it's something you're trying to get better at.
I think, though, that reveals something super beautiful. The idea that, like, oh, I'm not so good at this because it is an art.
Yes.
Is like kind of tender and sweet with the self.
I do think that is where I'm coming from with that every time I say it. I'm going to start with an art to me. I'm going to jump right in.
Yeah.
Okay, something that's art to me is working out in the morning. First thing in the morning, working out. It is it's such a hard thing to do, and it makes my day better no matter what. Every single time my day's better after I work out in the morning. How do you do it consistently? How are your parents?
Yeah.
Wake up and they go to the gym at like 4 in the morning.
Yeah. My brother doesn't do it to work out. He goes to work at the same time. So my whole family is like up at 3 and 4. And my parents are doing it electively because they want to go to the gym when it's mostly empty. And they just have always been early risers. So they start their day at like 4. That
is so wild to me. That's so much discipline. I guess it's a discipline thing potentially. Yeah. But also there's something about getting into that state of mind and that headspace of like, I wake up and I go right to the gym.
Yeah.
I've been going to a hot yoga studio.
Totally.
And so
are you loving it?
I like it a lot more than doing.
Are you done at the gym that we shared?
For now, we were doing like CrossFit workouts together.
I continue to do it.
HIIT workouts, and now it was messing up my body. It was really working on my joints and my bones.
Of course.
And my muscles, I wasn't really even getting that strong.
Yeah, I'm significantly younger, so that's probably why it's fine for me.
That's probably what it is. It's an age thing.
No,
for sure.
I'm hurting a lot.
And so now I'm like at this hot yoga studio, and I'm feeling I'm not getting as much of a workout, but I'm trying to tell myself that I will still be fit.
I also think that if this plays a role in you reconstructing the like format of your day and you're like, it's so good and efficient for me, then that's a huge win.
And it's so much easier for me to wake up and go do a hot yoga class than it is to go do like a HIIT class.
I'd throw up.
Yeah, right? You
have to do like
Philly? Oh my God, yeah. That wasn't your birthday, right? You didn't throw up on your birthday.
No.
Okay.
Different story. And we told on the Leland episode, we talked about that. Okay, on my birthday, we went to this fancy gym that we talked about with Leland last episode in Philly, moved to LA, went back to Philly to visit, and had not been working out so much in LA.
Oh, it was on a revisit.
Yeah. So when we went back to Philly for a visit, we're like, we're going to see our old coach and do one of these big workout classes. I threw up. I threw up in the street. I finished it and I was like, hell yeah. We walked down the stairs. We opened the door and soon as we leave the gym.
That's what happened. Nick, we walk out and everything's fine. And then we go outside and then Nick opens the door and is like, and I was like, are you good? He was like, he starts just like going to the ground really slowly. And then he just all over the ground. And I was like,
thank God I made it outside.
No, I know. But I'm like, you never know. Oh yeah. We have a question. Sorry. We have a live studio audience. Yeah. So one of our audience members is asking, did you get on your knees to barf?
I was wondering.
And then what is her name? Can you remember?
Marissenka.
Yes, Marissenka. One of our producers, Marissenka, was just asking. So did you get on your knees just to barf?
I always do, baby.
Hey.
Wait, my memoir, Did I Get on My Knees Just to Barf?
What?
My memoir is called Did I Get on My Knees Just to Barf? It's giving did I shave my legs for this?
Yeah. And then
it's
there's
guy
it's colon and then something else. There's something else under it. What is
my
it?
Colon.
Yeah. Colon, my colon.
Fabulous.
Oh, colon, my colon.
What time is the yoga class?
It's any time.
No.
What's the time?
So let's contextualize. You said, I'm starting to get up early and
go
to yoga.
What time did I go?
Yeah.
I either go to the 8:30 or the 9.
Early? Yeah. That's great.
Yeah. So
Sorry to have you on the heels of
No.
my parents' times, and then to hear 8 or 9, I'm like, whatever.
Well, because from 4 to 8, I'm writing, I'm meditating, I'm juicing. What? Oren,
what time are you getting up to swim?
Oren, what time are you getting up to swim? 4:45 a.m. So
parents vibes.
It's a disease.
Mom and dad energy.
Yeah. So it really does change. My whole day is so much better.
I think the Philly thing wasn't even just so much that it was the first workout in a long time. It's also something about getting up and immediately going into the fight or flight that you go into in a HIIT workout. It's vom zone.
I always get
throw
really
up time.
nauseous.
Yeah.
Like no matter what, it's just
With weight training, it is like I want to be mentally like there and ready to put in effort.
because I feel like I'm gonna hurt myself.
And
if I
in a
don't.
class, if I'm not feeling very like awake or on top of my energy, I'm like, let's just get through it. And that's not so helpful when you're weight training. That actually isn't really doing much for you.
Yeah, it was. The more I was going to the HIIT classes, I realized that I was what. You got a little smirk. What were you thinking?
I actually have no idea. I was really listening. I think I'm just enjoying the conversation.
Yeah, no, you were just listening sort of like this. And I was like, what? What are you thinking?
I literally, I'm just having a good time.
That's
I think you've gotten so accustomed to me kind of being miserable.
having something to say. No, not even miserable, but just always having a little something to say.
No, I'm
And
just literally having a good time.
Makes me laugh sometimes.
Okay.
All right.
Should I do an
So,
art to me? No.
You.
I'm putting the arms away next episode.
Put the arms away.
All right.
Why don't you do an art to me if you're so present and happy?
Okay, my first art to me I want to talk about,
Yes.
and I've shared this with you, a phrase I heard in Palm Springs that really hit me in my heart. Clean chai for Addison.
Clean chai for Addison.
A barista at a coffee shop I was at announced in the middle of a conversation I was having with Hope, clean chai for Addison. And that combination of words feels so millennial.
And to yell it.
Yeah. Clean chai for Addison. Like just, I feel like it invokes, I get synesthesia from this phrase. Like
Clean
when I
chai
heard
for
it, I was like
Addison.
white lace. I was like, it was so transportative.
Thank you. Who's Tiv? Hey.
I was with Tiv.
right.
I can't yes and all the time because sometimes it's like, why did I even bother?
To yes and what I said?
When I said Tiv is my friend, like
I
no one
dropped
is
the
on
ball
board
with
for
to
that.
Tiv. So you were just trying to support that and we didn't go anywhere. But that's art.
What do you think about clean chai for Addison?
Clean chai for
It
Addison.
feels really evocative to me.
But yes, but I do feel like that's the energy of a Palm Spring, a Joshua Tree Palm Springs bleed over is clean chai for Addison.
Yes.
Is Joshua Tree.
You can see her big
clean
hat.
chai for Addison.
You know her apartment or her house that she owns is beige.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you've got some like southwestern like
Yes.
tapestries. You've got some like maybe like animal skulls potentially, like, you know, and that's what I'm seeing.
And imagine
Incense.
it's a girl who's ordering clean chai, right?
Yeah. What does that mean?
I think it's a distinction to be like not a dirty chai.
Isn't that just a chai?
Yes.
Okay.
So amongst the like, here we have a girl named Addison, which is
that's
a silly name,
stupid, silly name.
goofy name. I see her mom naming her Addison, and I'm like, you fool.
What's wrong with it? You're cursing it's a curse.
You're cursing your daughter to get a
It's
clean
a
chai.
curse. You're
in front of
cursing
me.
your daughter to have a wide brimmed hat and a sundress from 2014.
Addison's a 5'6" black male bodybuilder. He's like, awesome. Thank you so much.
He's like, I guess I'll take off this sundress from Urban Outfitters.
Maurice like, comes in every day.
He goes.
Sorry
you
to
gotta watch
this
the
Addison.
YouTube to see that. Huh?
Oh, yeah. Really good space work, gents.
Thank you. Also, I was kind of leaning into it. So if your name is Addison out there, I'm kidding. That's a great name. I just wanted to go along with the bit.
I
And
stand
think
by
you're
saying that it
beautiful.
was pretty. I think when
It is pretty.
the thing I'm conjuring in my mind's eye of our first Addison, right? Girl Addison.
Is Addie?
She's really pretty.
Addie's Addison, right?
It could be Adelaide.
Oh, which is better or worse, studio audience?
Different.
Is Adelaide better than Addison? They're both terrible. We're getting,
I'm kind of liking
and that's America speaking.
the 30s is coming back around for me.
What?
The 30s, the time period,
1930s?
the 1930s. Adelaide feels like a name from the 1930s.
Mm-hmm.
And I, for a long time, when something is invoking 1930s, when I'm seeing something that kind of reminds me, steampunk feels like it has a little bit of a
It's coming
1930s
back.
look. I personally am not bristling against it the way that I did for a long time.
You hated it.
I know. I think it's True Detective, and when I'm pulling in like noir images, a lot of it is 1930s.
Now you see.
And I'm like, okay, there's something here. But for
Right?
so long, I was like, I don't want to see that.
I think it's like steampunk is like it's a Comic-Con leaning sort of energy, and I think that's maybe it's like we haven't had a ton of tasteful art that has existed in the steampunk cinematic universe or universe in
And
general,
that's where I
right?
come in.
And that's where honestly it would be so funny if
I'm
your
not-
show was steampunk.
I'm not doing that.
That would be amazing.
I don't have the heart to consistently set Trudy in the 1930s, but because she is a detective, I do have to invoke some imagery.
But like that detective like film noir is so fun.
Yeah, I can't wait.
It's
I made a little
so
Pinterest
fun.
board today that flips and twists. It's got some of that noir stuff, but it's also very 90s. I feel like there's a 90s kind of lilt to Trudy. She's a little like Pam Anderson as Barb Wire. I don't know if you're familiar.
I don't know what that is, but that sounds amazing.
I'll show you pics and you'll flip. When you see
Okay.
it, you'll flip.
Okay, great. I
Yeah.
would love that.
Do you have another art to me?
Okay, my other art to me is putting time and energy for a sustained amount of time into a project. It is something that specifically in Los Angeles is one of the hardest things to get done that you could ever try to do. It's almost impossible, and when it happens, it's like lightning has struck.
Can you talk to me about what the opposite of that is? Like you're saying it's hard to put time and sustained energy into a project. If we're not seeing that, what are we seeing too much of?
Like, let's say somebody wants to put up a live show, right, that has like any semblance of a narrative, and they rehearse it once, maybe twice,
Okay.
and then they put it up and they just do it.
You're saying I want rigor in art making.
Yes,
Commitment.
yes, and like time and energy put into something, because even film lately, I just feel like it all feels so
Wait till you see the
rushed.
substance.
I can't wait.
You're
to
gonna
see this.
freak. I hope in the next couple days nothing happens in culture that makes me be like, I shouldn't have said that.
Oh, like something from the substance. It's like,
where everyone is like, actually, you know what about the substance? We shouldn't be talking about it.
and Nick goes, "Oh no!"
They're like, I hope no one better go on a podcast and talk about positively about this movie.
Because
I'm
why? Because it feels
screwed
like
over.
there's really intentionality behind it. Like it feels like there's time and like thoughtfulness and
Totally.
like you're going back and like
Feels like someone worked on it. Feels like a lot of people got together and made that movie over the course of time.
I can't wait to see that.
You're going to really
That's
like it.
my favorite kind of thing that I feel like we don't get a
Also,
lot.
to me, more is like, it feels like only she could do it.
Yeah.
And it feels like she was like, her whole trajectory of her career has so by millimeters led her to this exact moment, and she just like delivers.
Can I bring something up?
Yeah.
Why is Demi Moore also Kyle Richards? Why are they the same person?
Well, I think potentially,
What happened?
and for a reason that I think is in line a little bit with the subject matter of this film, cosmetic procedures.
Oh, that's what it's about.
Because Kyle Richards is also, in some lighting, Chriselle from Selling
Oh my
Sunset.
God! Wait, hold on. I just remembered we're not supposed to be supporting that movie, Substance, because you're not supposed to talk about it.
It was a tweet.
Yeah.
Funk.
Yeah.
So
I'll cut that out. That didn't land at all.
it's okay. Well, there's two other people here, and we got a giggle from CG.
Yeah. I've been watching Veep. I've
How
been
many times
rewatching
have you
it.
watched it through?
This is probably my fourth time watching it through. Okay. Can I throw in another quick art to me?
Of course.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus it's actually insane what she's doing in Veep. She is one of the most incredible performers I've ever seen in my life.
And justly awarded for it.
Yes, but there's something specifically in that show that I want to get really specific about the art to me, which is she does this thing when she's talking. She develops a twitch in her eye. Have you seen this episode? And it's like the way
just,
that
like,
she
instinctually
plays
did
it,
a little bit.
and has it hit, and the control over the twitch
Yeah.
is mind blowing. I'm like, how did she do that? I love her so much. If I could if
Awesome
I
woman.
could even get close to that level of performance. All right, we'll be back after the break.
Peace out.
All right, we are back from that break.
That was an amazing commercial.
Yeah, that was
I'm
great.
gonna get every one of those products.
Probably get all of
I
them
didn't
too.
even know that they could invent something that would help my life so much.
Yeah, they are on. They've been on it for years.
I love those guys, girls, and people that aren't either of those.
Yeah. All right.
Behind that company. Do you want to hear my art to me?
Yes, I would love to hear your art to me.
The way that my thumbs, when I'm typing,
Mm-hmm.
let me know my emotional state. In other words, and hear me out,
Go off.
the body keeps the score.
Yeah.
I will not really even be thinking I'm experiencing something. I'll go to text, I'll misspell a word, and I'll go, oh, I am so anxious and stressed out because this misspelling is making me really upset.
Yeah.
And it's not so deep. And it's my thumbs telling my brain, you're really anxious right now. You're going through something.
What? Yeah. There's something where it's like if I get worked up,
Mhm.
I cannot spell a word right, or like it keeps hitting the P instead of the
Yes,
Y.
yes,
And
yes,
I'm
yes.
like, why? Why right now?
And it feels right. You're in charge.
I'm in charge.
You're the one making it happen. It feels like someone is doing something to you. I will be texting my sweetie pie boyfriend, and we'll be having a nice conversation. I'll try to type something, and I'll misspell it, and I'll be like, this guy.
him, Nick. Jesus,
I'll be like telling me he loves me, so I have to text him back. Where does this prick get off?
Nick, you're such a grumpy old bitch. You are the grumpiest bitch I've ever met. Why you get so grumpy?
I'm just wondering
What?
if your body's keeping your score. Wait, does the body keep the score?
Hey, baby. That body keep the score?
I don't like that. It's not okay.
Because we're playing on home court.
No.
What does that even mean?
I suspect the book is about sexual trauma, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, rut-row.
Yeah. But I also think any
Trauma.
all sorts of trauma.
Oh,
It's just-
any trauma can live in the body.
It's
And
just
you know a
about
great part of the
trauma.
body?
What?
The thumbs.
Wow. Do you think you have trauma in your thumbs?
Totally. Undeniably.
Wow.
Well, I'm
You
using them.
does too.
Think about test taking and filling in bubble answers.
And you love being a good boy on a test. I was trying to bring it.
I know.
I was trying to bring the energy to
I
that.
wanted to support you.
I don't know.
Ugh. What
Well,
do you think about that?
Think about what? The thumb
My
thing?
art to me. Yeah.
I think that makes sense. I've experienced not being able to spell a word. I don't necessarily put it on my thumbs. I don't make my thumbs the problem.
Does it make you want to throw your phone?
Whoa, no. What has made me want to throw my phone before? Things that have made me want to throw my phone are... I actually don't even know, but I have thrown it before.
Can I be honest?
I've thrown my phone.
I think, for the most part, when I get really angry, it's about something else and it comes out from something sort of simple. So I'm getting really, really, really inappropriately mad at my thumbs.
Yes.
You're maybe the only person in my life where I've gotten really upset directly about the thing I'm upset about with. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, I'm really mad at you about the exact thing that you're saying or doing right now. And so much more often, I'm like, I'm going to throw this piece of pizza out of the window because it's hot.
And you
not
know what
being
I
like,
would say
I'm
to
upset.
you? When you would say that to me, I'd go, I think this has to do with the thumbs.
Yeah.
And I'm on a journey to start taking responsibility for myself.
Totally.
That is a big art. And I
Someone-
don't want to get into that one.
Okay.
That one's fun, but
To give you grace, let's not.
yeah.
Period.
Hey, give me some grace.
That is so like pastor.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Pastor walking around to the teenagers of the
The youth
church.
pastor?
Give me
Hey,
some
give me
grace.
some grace.
And the parents are like, this is one of the most amazing guys. Like, we're so lucky our church has this
and
guy.
yeah.
And the meanwhile, he sucks. He's like
Oh, they always
verbally abusive
suck.
to his partner.
There was one time where when I was younger, I was at this like church. I don't even know if it was like a summer camp thing or like it was in Santa Clarita. It was close. It was a building in a strip mall, and
Ugh.
we were doing. It was youth group, and not saying it out now. I'm like, concerned about a few things, but it was time to give someone a massage. You had to give. We were like offering someone like a shoulder massage. It was just like, oh yeah,
they're trying to ban drag queens.
I know. It was like give somebody like offer a shoulder massage, and so there was another woman who worked there who was like one of the youth pastor people, like the helper to the guy.
Yeah.
And I go up and I'm like, hey, do you want a shoulder massage? And she was like, no, that would be so weird.
And she was right.
But
shouldn't
someone
have said it to
else was doing it. Was like specifically because I was a boy and she was, but I was like, what the this is already so bizarre.
The situation was weird. It wasn't your fault.
And then there was something else we did where we did this thing where we put like, there was a game where you had to like somebody poured milk in their mouth. Somebody else poured like chocolate syrup, and then you like mix it around and you like spit it into a cup, and then you like
that's what happens when you have
the
sex.
Chocolate milk. And now I'm like, what was I? Where was I? What were these games? But this is all coming back to me right now in this moment.
You know
Give
what?
me some grace.
You know what I'm realizing? The thing that pastors or whoever does when they like spit or something in a cup of water, and they're like, that's what happens when you give your virginity. You know what I'm talking about? That like visual.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that.
They like pour a little of like a red liquid in like the water, and they're like, that's. Sometimes it's sin or whatever. The new version of that I'm seeing a lot on TikTok is people being like, your grandmother's trauma, and they have to like pour all this water into it to get it to be like clear again, so that they can pour that into their daughter cup. Much like
Wait, I love
dirt in grandma's glass.
I just love the phrase your daughter cup.
Your daughter cup.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah,
my daughter cup.
You're having to fill your cup because your mom poured her dirty water into your cup. You have to then pour a gallon of Arrowhead to get that dirt out, so that when you pour into your daughter cup, she gets clear.
Oh my God.
I understand.
I
get witches. Why don't we get a gallon of Arrowhead for our daughter cup?
No, that's,
Sorry.
I mean, that, it's funny, it's silly, but also I'm like, that does make sense. And that really
that's why this is getting millions of likes, because every like is a period.
Whoa.
Everyone's saying, exactly.
All right, that made me laugh, so I'm good.
Great.
Who's your friend of the week while I think about mine?
Okay, my friend of the week is optimism. It's so awesome to be like something good is in the future is such like a salve in a world, and maybe even a specific city, where sometimes things feel hard and bleak and yucko mode, if I may be so bold. And I feel like I mysteriously in me, probably with privilege, am always like, something good's going to happen to me.
That's amazing, because it is such a great thing to have. And it, you know what? And here's what I'll say to you.
Okay.
I actually think that is a form of spirituality. It really is.
Great.
I think it is.
I don't think you're wrong.
Because that is like, because you know what I thought of when you said that? I went, that's not for you, not what you're saying, but for myself, I went, that's so fucking annoying. I have to be optimistic. But what about all the shit that's happening to me? You know,
yeah.
Like, but you really do connect to something. You have to change your state of mind, and you're connecting to this will outside of yourself, which is optimism. And you're like, I'm choosing to put my faith in the fact that there's this feeling that something good is going to happen. And that is spiritual.
I kind of always have that, but I suspect that it is that like often good things have happened to me.
You do carry a lot of like positive energy around the stuff that you do, which is good for you.
I have a pretty good track record.
You do. Like when you do something, it's like, well, it's probably going to do well.
I sure hope so.
I think so. I feel like Trudy, True Detective, his drag character.
Go on Instagram and start liking some of my posts.
Okay, wait. Is it your turn to do an art to me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Will you hear me out?
Yeah.
Makeup artistry. It's there in the name.
Makeup
but I
artistry.
think it's there in the name, and we forget. I think someone's like, I'm a makeup artist, and we're like, okay, girl. Okay, so you mean girl?
Yeah.
And it's like not that. It is technical. And this is where I was saying earlier, this kind of feels like an art or science kind of thing, because it is like, at a certain point, it's like polymers, powders, ingredients with different ingredients. There are makeup products that don't work with other makeup products.
So it's alchemy.
Yes. In the way that any art is alchemy, and in the way that, like, the ancient definition of alchemy, you really are taking ingredients and making magic out of it.
That's really cool.
There are people that can do the most amazing things with makeup. And the thing about it is, like a lot of art, is when it's done exceptionally well, you're like, yeah, of course. And then it's like, okay, why don't you sit down and try to do it?
Yeah.
And it's like, this is the hardest thing I've ever tried to do in my life.
That's like me when somebody sees my Ratatouille bit and they go, yeah, okay, it's good. And I go, well, why don't you get up there and try to do this?
Does that happen?
No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
That's a great
I was just
bit.
thinking of like, what?
The Ratatouille bit I love.
No, I know. I was just thinking about like comparing like makeup artistry to me putting
like,
a rat
a
on my head and
chance
stabbing myself.
to talk about something
like,
I do really
you
well.
get up there and you try to make that magic happen. It's not that hard. What I do is ultimately just being chaotic, you know?
I want to do like a drag Ratatouille number to that song, When I Move, You Move. Just like that.
Oh my God. That's
How
nice.
fun would that be?
That would be so fun.
I would need your help with the costume.
Why?
Because you already made that one, the hat with the light.
Nick, the thing that what you would make would be so far beyond what I ever tried
But I would want to
do
do the thing that you did, and I would need your help doing that.
All
Because
right.
it's also
I'll put
your
a rat
idea.
on your head. What if we put a live rat?
Totally! I think there is something about invoking real danger in performance.
But to have a real rat under there.
So everyone know, right? Like, so you bring out the chef outfit and make sure the audience knows it's going to be a Ratatouille bit.
Yeah.
The gag is not that it's the Ratatouille bit. The gag is that when it hits, the rat is real.
Yeah, when the hat comes off and it's like, whoa, it's like real rat.
I like that a lot. I won't do it.
I would
really like it.
I'm
and I know
trying
that
to
you will.
actually weigh in my mind right now if I would
It's not so
truly
ethical.
do it. And I think it would have to be like I have a pet rat that I've been close with for years, and and it's trained, and it's like.
Can I tell you something about a pet rat?
Yeah.
You got like 2 years with that thing.
Only 2 years?
They all
right,
get
because
cancer.
Gracie's sister. They all get cancer.
Gracie's sister comes around and kills them all.
Rat hunter.
Oh, right, because Gracie's sister.
Can there be a character in your musical called Rat Hunter?
Totally.
Okay, cool.
There is like mysterious person. Everyone has like a name, and then there's one character that is mysterious person. I want to have a guest performer every show.
Okay, fine. I can't wait.
That does a cabaret act. There's that like noir trope where like they go and see like the cabaret singer that has information for them, and I want every show it to be a different person that like does a bit. It like takes place at like I like go to the Cheesecake Factory at the Americana to get some info out of this like cabaret performer there.
That's amazing.
Someone does a bit, and then after I'm like, you have to tell me what you know, and they're like, for a price or something. You know what I mean?
For a slice.
For a slice. But
I'll
yeah,
tell you
there's
what
that
I
like
know.
famous noir bit of like the cabaret singer that has that bit of
I
information.
love that. That's
It'd be
really
cool to have like a
special.
rotating guest spot. Because I want to
Yes.
mostly, I don't want to have to wrangle other people in their schedules.
No,
so I
it'd
want to
be-
mostly have the show be me, and then one person that is like bring whatever you want
I love that.
and like hold the piece of paper during our scene.
I don't mind doing it either. I'd be happy.
Fabulous. Totally. I think you'd all be great.
Oh.
And it would be so good. I didn't talk as much as I want about makeup artistry.
yeah.
So
please
we
keep going.
paint murals. It's totally different from that.
It's so different.
It's like, I suspect that like fine artists would have a much easier time than I'm having. People that really understand depth and color theory is so much of it.
okay.
There's just like so much nuance, and what's happening as I'm learning more and more about it is that I'll like, a year ago, I would see an image and be like, okay, so there's this shape and like this shape, so I'll try to make these two shapes. Now, a year later, I'll look back at that same picture and I see so much more. I'm like, there's not just this shape. There's like these three colors that go from lightest to darkest to create like this like illusion. And it's like, as I'm learning more about it, I feel like I'm looking back and like noticing things I never thought about. Period.
And you're like, you're painting with a bunch of different product, right? It's
Yeah.
not just paint, right? You've got like powders. You've got these like, I don't even know what else is there. Polymers, you
There's
said?
creams, liquids, powders.
Yeah.
Polymers is more of like a thing that make up a liquid or a cream.
Wow. Yeah.
You know what
So,
I
I
mean?
mean, you're
There's-
learning how to work with a bunch of different materials, which is cool.
And I'm doing a thing that I like don't always do in my art making that I'm getting better at, where I'll put something together, something about it won't work, and I'll really sit down and go, okay, why didn't it work?
Okay. Yeah.
What
yeah.
do I need to do differently? Whereas I feel like with other art forms, especially like stand up, I'm like, that didn't work. You know what I mean? New idea. That
didn't work. I don't deserve anything.
Totally.
It's kind of what that goes for live performance. It's something different because I think when you work with something visually, like you've got your hands on something, I made a mask, I paper mache'd it, whatever. It's cool, but I was like, it's not my favorite. But I was like, okay, cool. I can go bigger. I can do something crazier next time. And it's a little bit more detached.
I know. I am director and performer. I am like doing the thing. I look at it. I go, this, and this needs to change. And then I turn around and I go, got it. And I make the change.
Yeah.
Which we, as performers, probably ought to be doing. But
well,
it's
I guess
harder.
you watch your tape or whatever, but
that is excruciating.
Yeah, it's mortifying to think about watching.
In a way that, like, with visual art, and maybe not everyone feels this way, but because it's like my second, I think, major art language, I'm like, all right, let's take a look at the thing I did and pick apart why I don't like the pieces I don't like and make changes. And that's taking a long time.
God, we could do that with so many things in our lives.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm learning to get better at failing in a big way.
Yeah.
I mean, Variegated Paint helped me with this too. I think every time I do a different art form, because what created the resistance, I think, for so long against like improving, against getting critical feedback, it was really hard for me, was that as a performer, I was like, this is my one thing. Like, this is my one skill. And you're telling me I do bad at my only sense of self-worth? And now I'm like, okay, this is one of the 15 things I do. And today didn't go so hot.
Yes.
No problem.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I think diversifying in any space, anywhere, anything is the most important thing that you can do in your life. I'm going to say something that happened, and I want you to tell me why it's art to you or to me.
Is it because you can't think of it?
It's because I just want to talk about it. And so this is my structure.
All right.
I keep making people cry in my clown class. What's going on?
Oh my God, this is my art to me. I'm going to answer your art to me with my next art to me, because I had an experience that this makes me think of so much in my stretching class. So my art to me.
You went to a stretching class?
I've been going to stretching classes because I want to be able to do the splits. It's going to be a long time.
Cool.
Yes. I
Oren's going to help.
Could not have
Nick
more
stretch.
forgot that you are such a good resource for me here. Great. Okay. An art to me that is my response is teaching for all levels. I think this is such a hard thing to do, and something that many teachers have to do unless they're in a system where the levels are really specific and really rubric based. You often find yourself as a teacher in a place where you're teaching a lot of people of a lot of different skill levels, and that, even more than just teaching, is a hyper specific skill. Teaching for all skill levels means that, like, the expectation but also the assignment has to be so specific that someone will get something out of it regardless of how far along in their training they are. So I was in this stretch class trying to stretch my hamstrings, amongst other things, because I want to get closer to the splits. And we had a substitute teacher. And we often have this amazing teacher that also like owns an aerial studio, and she just it's so like, I learned so much about my body and I make a lot of progress. We had this substitute that was having us halfway through class. I was like, why am I so frustrated today in stretch? It usually relaxes me. And I realized that he was having us do a lot of exercises that would have been really, really helpful if I was already more flexible. But because I wasn't at that level of flexibility yet, all I was doing was really engaging a bunch of muscles to try to protect myself from getting really hurt, which I would have done if I had like tried to get to a split from up high. Like, I'm not stacking 15 blocks up there, and I'm not flexible enough to get down to one where this stretch would be useful. So I'm not in your clown class, but I think like a teaching at all levels thing is like, maybe it's the case that there is a felt expectation of some people that doesn't quite align with what their level and their next goal is. Like whatever their version of, I'm trying to get a little more flexible and I'm like here in my split and want to get to here. And maybe they feel like, oh, my expectation is that I'm already like here and that is not so possible for me. So I'm so frustrated with this stretch, with this exercise. And maybe I feel like it's my fault. Maybe I'm frustrated with you and I feel like it's your fault that now I'm in this predicament where I'm not getting the help I need. Like I'm not getting out of this exercise much because it's not for someone at my level. Class.
I don't think that's what's happening in my clown class.
Totally fine.
No, but I hear you. I wanted to just be silly, but yes. And
you think it's something super different?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think that they're parallel.
It was presumptive of me to be like,
no,
I've got
I think it's yes. We have Marishika.
I understood the crying in class actually opposite of how Nick described it, which I thought was very beautiful to hear your description. I understood it as they're crying because they're moved. You know what I mean? Like they're accessing a piece of themselves that like.
Were you there?
No.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were like, when I was there and I saw it.
No. Just from your
is
question, I was hearing it like I've only cried in class because I like accessed a part of myself that like was vulnerable I hadn't been to before. So I guess my question before I could give an opinion is, do you think that it's like crying beautifully or crying in frustration?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think that what's happening is that, okay, Oren, we have now Oren.
Like, I think what Nick is saying can apply.
Yes.
In any situation, really.
I agree.
Although I feel like when people cry in clown class, it doesn't really, unless the teacher's being abusive, which I know you're not being, I think it's more to do with their own insecurities. Because I'm thinking about like when I've cried or gotten emotional like at rehearsals with you.
Yeah.
And it's actually not your fault. You're just pushing me in a safe way. But then I'm coming up against my own stuff. And then I'm crying. And yeah, maybe I'm blaming. I'm never blaming you, but you know, maybe if I'm a student and whatever, maybe I'm thinking, oh, Jenson's like too hard of a teacher and that's why I'm crying. But no, it's that you're insecure. And
this is why I love working with Oren.
You're crying because you're insecure, and actually Jenson's a great teacher, so get over it.
No, I do think like, yeah. Oh, CG. God, we need a camera on you guys immediately.
I haven't done a clown class, but and I know this is so different, but done a bunch of improv classes.
Yeah.
And the one time I cried in improv class, it's because my teacher was like, "Okay, do it again and don't be funny."
Yeah.
And what I was hearing was that all I could do is be funny, and I don't have any more depth than that. But really, he was like, "I know you have but like in that moment, it was my own thing. And it wasn't a problem with him."
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oren has one more thing to say.
One more thing to say, and it actually goes back to another art to me, which was rigor.
Yeah.
In our work, and how that's not so common out here, because a lot of like classes and stuff is just geared towards like just do the next thing.
I think what it does.
So I think you're rigorous, and they're not used to it.
Yeah. And I think those classes, what they do is, I'll grab this back and give this to Nick.
He was saying what
I think what those classes do is they appeal to the mask that you've built, the social mask or the performance mask that is like just that rides like above the surface of like who you are. So like you're kind of continuing to chip away at like the mask you've already created, but you don't ever really get to see like the core, which I think is what clown does.
As the person who was there.
Yeah.
Will you just talk a little bit more about what happened?
Yeah, so a couple times there was one girl.
Are you in trouble?
No, but I think it's going to sound maybe more mean than it was, but there was a girl who kept talking like joke, like just wouldn't let anything actually hit.
And this is your clown class or your mask
clown
class? Got it.
And just kept going, talking. And I was like, slow down. And so then I just let her go. I just let her go. And then she was going, and I just went, hey, is any of this working? And just to like literally ask, like, because that's what you do as a clown. You go, you have to check in. Is this landing? Is this working? And she stopped and she said, no. And then she left the room sobbing.
Well, that sounds to me honestly like
That was one of 2 times.
With my experience in clown classes, I'm like, that sounds like that just is the exercise actually.
Is there
did you set up, did the class know that was a question they needed to be asking themselves?
I mean, yeah, I put it out there that like you're always checking in about if stuff is landing.
Because I feel like it hits a different way when that question is asked and you're like, oh, right, this core concept, right? Like this skill I'm supposed to have. And I think if you're not thinking of it that way, you're like, oh, right, it's not working. My performance isn't working, as opposed to like metabolizing it as like, oh, right, I forgot this thing I'm supposed to do.
But it takes a minute for you to depersonalize it enough for you to ask yourself that question in a way that, again, isn't personal.
It's always going to hurt.
Well, I don't know. You know, sometimes it's like fun. Like it's fun to play with the flop if you feel safe.
Sure.
Right? But I guess my question is there something that's art about that? About this whole about.
Yeah. No. Is your question clear?
I guess it's like, is there an art to some sort of like revealing, like the diminishing of the mask to see who you are?
Of course. Wait, Jenson.
And with that was a rhetorical question.
Okay, it better have been. You're like, is there an aspect of art to kind of breaking down the mask and revealing your true self? Is anything about that sounding artistic?
I guess I just didn't know. I felt guilty about having made, and then there was another person that cried.
Yeah, no, let's hear the other one.
Cried yesterday.
We're going to keep going.
No, she was, okay, I'll do it real fast. No, we don't need this. So she was performing, and she kept trying to be funny.
Do you think they listen?
And
Do you think these
They
people
might,
listen?
but also they're great. Oren said they know what they did. I thought that was funny.
So crybaby number 2. I've cried in clown class. It's
Weeping
okay.
Willow number 2. No, she was just like going. She was trying to be funny. She kept trying to like perform and like do like little bits and stuff, but in a way that just wasn't. You couldn't like see her, and so I just kept making her like. I was like, oh, just sit down, just like, oh, just relax a little bit, just breathe, and she was getting frustrated. And then I was like, okay, just stand there and just look at us, drop your arms and just look at us and breathe. And on her face, she was like, she did this, like, she rolled her eyes a little bit, and then like, but I was like, I don't think this is for me. I think this is like, she's just struggling. And then she just started crying.
I've had that exact experience.
You have?
I think you guys were there. It was probably in Gilkey's class. Yeah. I was pretty upset though, because I thought that it happened and then they were just like, great. And I was like, actually what would have been useful for me is for us to really talk about why. And we didn't do that. Like I was like, for something like that to happen, you better make sure I understand why it was helpful.
Oh yeah, I did. And I said, it's very intense just to stand and be seen. I was like, it can be very emotional and it's frustrating, and it brings up a lot to try to perform, and for somebody to look at you and for you to be like, laugh, like, come, like, I'm entertaining you, I'm worthy of being up here, and then it's not working, and then just have to stand and like sit with that is very emotional. And so we definitely talked about it, and I was like, I don't want anyone to cry in my class, but it's okay when it happens, and it can also be good. But I was like, that's not my goal. And sometimes it does feel like in a clown class the goal is like to get you to cry, and then you're like, and here's where the work begins. And it's
right. I think that is what happened that made me so upset.
The work is about joy.
And I think that it's the job then of the teacher, really, if you want people to be satisfied by their experience. That doesn't feel like it quite is the right word. But your job as the teacher is to build the bridge from that experience to the lesson they walk away from that experience with, so that it doesn't just feel like they made me cry. Like they can more
Yeah.
comprehensively be like, I had an emotional experience, but it's good because through that emotional experience, I learned that I have like this habit, or I haven't explored enough being present on stage without a thing. And like that rep was useful for me, or like or I know that the next time I get on stage, the experiment that I want to do is coming with less, or is feeling like less like I need to.
Yeah.
Like being like, the thing I want you to take from this to the next time that we try this, or to your next show that you do, is this, I think, would make people feel not the way I felt when it happened to me in the class we were in.
Totally. So we're going to do my enemy of the week, right?
Good.
Will you ask me? Ask me what my enemy of the week is.
Okay. Hey, Jensen, do you mind if I ask you something?
Please.
What your enemy of the week is?
My enemy of the week is, what's the opposite of optimism?
Can I say it? Pessimism.
Pessimism. That is my enemy of the week for real, because I am fighting for my life out here to stay positive.
Now let's get to the core of that.
Okay.
So
Tell me, please. What do I do?
Well, talk to me a little bit about the feeling that you have when you're feeling pessimistic physically.
I'm angry.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
physically put it in your body.
I just like,
Clenched. You're tight.
tight, and I'm like looking around a lot. I'm like looking around at stuff, and I'm trying to find stuff, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, well,
You're looking for something.
I'm looking for it. But I'm also like, that, not that. No, yeah.
So your pessimism has kind of this energy of choosiness, of like, why isn't the thing so much here?
Yeah.
You think there's like an impatience
Oh,
there?
that is absolutely the entire the story of my life living in LA is, why isn't the thing here?
And the thing,
So annoying.
do you
It's
think
like
it
everyone's
exists?
thing. Like, come on, I'm my own enemy of the week. Get something original. Why isn't the thing here? Everyone's experience in Los Angeles.
And the thing, does that is it a thing?
It's honestly,
Is it tangible?
It kind of is, actually.
Can
It's
you-
like
what is it?
financial
What is it?
security
Period.
as an artist and performer. Like,
Yeah.
as a performing artist, yeah.
I
really
don't.
what it
But you
is.
must
And-
have some optimism there. I feel like you're going whole hog for it. You got your whole hog out for that thing.
I've got, yeah.
You're getting your hog out for that.
I'm feral. I'm feral hog for it, for
30,
sure.
30 to 40. Is it
And-
30 to 50 feral hogs?
What
It's
is
been
that
so
from?
long. There's a tweet.
Talladega Nights? Oh. Sounds like a quote from Talladega Nights, if I'm not mistaken.
Someone made their license plate feral hogs, and they're going around LA.
That's
There are some good
amazing.
license
there
plates
really
in this
are
city.
some good. There are some funny license plates in this city.
Comedians are not just the people that get on stage and tell jokes.
I saw one that was just
There
pink.
are mothers, our sisters, our wives, our sister wives.
I saw an older woman in a black Tesla with the license plate Pig Fister.
How did she get so many letters?
You know what? I don't know. I made that up.
Is
but that
Fister
sounded,
FSTR?
Didn't that sound funny?
It's so possible.
Yeah, I know. I wanted it to be real.
I know.
She's like, what if she's like some sweet mom? She's like, I'm borrowing my son's Tesla to go to the Kroger. She's driving to a Kroger, which I don't think we have in this state.
Where are Kroger's? I want to talk
The
a
South.
little bit about region-specific grocery stores. They can be so fabulous.
Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the one up inland, like in Rochester?
Oh.
Where we live?
Oh.
You know what I'm
that
saying?
one's good.
Wegmans.
Wegmans.
Whoa.
Wegmans is it for me.
Yeah.
We don't have something like that. We have, what do we have? We have a Sprouts. Here's the thing is, I love Lassen's, but I am without a doubt, no matter what happens, I'm spending at least $50 every time. I don't know what it is.
Well, it's an expensive store.
It is.
I'm getting my groceries at Target. It's a
That's
block
because
from
you
my
can
house.
walk there. Yeah.
It's heaven.
That Target though is nice. No. Don't look at him like that. I'm gonna stick up
They're
for him
both
for this
licking their
once.
lips, kind of rubbing their nipples.
It's not something hot. It's not something hot. Stop.
Oh, wait.
Fuck. Marishka all over the floor.
Well, it's not
Oh.
Mariska, but that was.
Oh, what was her
It
name?
was. It's really
Maranishka?
close.
Marishnika.
Impossible to say.
Marishnika.
The audience knows.
Yeah, no, I don't remember. Wait, did we finish up what I was talking about?
The audience keeps the score.
Whoa, that's good. You're
Wait.
on today.
I gotta make
It's a game show.
Points. How good would I be at one of those late night game shows?
Oh, you'd be amazing.
Come
Your quippy
on.
little mouth. Do you have another friend of the week? Or you have an art to me that was exciting. Let's end on that.
Totally. Being / and it's maybe not so short. Being / having a reply guy. So, and this is, I want broad spanning. It's not just like somebody that wants to be having sex with you. It's also
Yeah.
like I'm a reply guy to my friends.
Yes.
And the artistry here, right, is like different reply guy tendencies are appropriate with different people.
Okay.
So every time Greg posts a picture of himself, I am messaging saying, my handsome guy. What a handsome guy.
Greg is one of the most handsome guys in the world. Hannah Pilkis'
Totally.
husband, Greg Nussin. Oh my God! If you have a moment to just feast your eyes on that.
Hannah, similarly,
Wow.
I'm often saying hot hottie or like love that top.
Oh. Hey, that's a good game show for you to host.
Love that
The
top.
yeah.
Love that top.
The audience keeps
It's-
the score.
It's gay male relationships.
Yeah.
And we find out if the bottom actually loves the top or if he's just kind of getting his.
Whoa. Or if he's
He goes through a series
it
of
gets
challenges.
really dark.
Goes through a series of challenges.
Or are you just comfortable?
Literally. Have you just found one of the 4 in Los Angeles and you've just kind of made yourself comfortable?
Well, 5. Oren's now a top. That's 1 point for the audience.
The audience will keep the score. They all go 1 point. Turn it up. This has been a fabulous
Let
episode.
us tell you what you won. You've won the right to find optimism in your life.
A police officer handcuffing you. You've won the right to find optimism in your life.
You've won.
Everything you can't say can and will be fabulous. It's like a cop wrestling. He's giving you an amazing pep talk.
Yeah, I love that.
Everything you say can and will be fabulous. I'm putting a gay cop in my show that's a puppet.
Wow.
All right.
You get to court and they're like, what did you say to this cop? You said some crazy shit. The cop's like, I have no idea what was going on with them. They were high as a kite.
They were saying some of the most fabulous stuff I'd ever heard.
Delicious Vicks Maronica's chips.
Those
Wow.
words are all great.
Aya, sisters.
What's the good word?
What's the good word?
You have to pick.
Oh, is it businessy?
Yeah, the
Give me
word
some
of this
grace.
episode. Businessy, give me some grace.
Wow, me when I
Businessy, give me some grace. Get down here.
that's me when if I show up late or someone or a room is mad at me. Hey, give me some grace.
Totally.
That's what I need for this pod episode right now, guys. Give me some grace.
Everyone's like,
Thank
"Okay."
you.
That's really sweet. You should employ a little more youth. No, it'd be dangerous with you. No youth
A little
pastor
more
energy
youth
for
pastor
you.
energy.
No.
I think in a way I already have it.
Totally.
Probably. Yeah. No.
All due respect.
CG said yes. Oren said no. Nick said yes. I trust Oren the most.
Orange drinking the Kool-Aid a little
So-
bit too much.
Only because only because I like what they said. I'll switch sides like that if I like what you said. All right, that was art to me, and wow, what a great episode. Huh?
I had a blast, and I was doing big smiles, start to finish.
Yeah, you were so much so I thought you had something to say to me.
I did, and I said a bunch of things to you.
We'll go back and see. All right,
Okay.
thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Jensen, I hope you edited the things I asked you to edit while we were recording.
Give me some grace.
Baby, it's art to me. I want you to talk art to me. Then it's gonna be art to me. You're making it art to me. Oh,